Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another Mandela Effect video for you guys. Y'all know I love the Mandela Effect. I like making these videos still. To this day, like 8 years later, I still like it. Sorry. It makes me happy that you guys really like it too, and I just think that the Mandela Effect is low-key fun. Sue me? I don't know. It's just a fun thing to not take too seriously, and that's kind of how I see it, you know? Alright, the first Mandela effect that I want to talk about is the Starbucks logo. I don't know why we haven't talked about this before. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think I have. And I have always thought that the Starbucks logo changed, I would say in like 2009, 2010 era. I never remember the Starbucks logo having the star on the mermaid's crown, and I vividly remember thinking to myself as a child, like, oh, they changed the logo. The Starbucks logo has always had a star in the crown since 1987. What do you mean by that? No. I don't know. I just feel like I really noticed stuff as a kid, especially if it had to do with mermaids, because I'm an H2O girly at heart. I know that logo did not have a star in the crown, but let me know what you guys remember. All right, the next one I saw on TikTok, and I actually had a conniption about it. How would you spell the word 12th? Because this is how I would spell 12th, and this is how 12th is actually spelled. What the fuck do you mean? That's actually... No. That's so incorrect on so many damn levels. I can't begin to deal with that. There's just no way in hell anyone has seen 12th with an F before like that. No. All right, the next Mandela effect has to do with Uncle Sam. So I vividly remember Uncle Sam's hat looking like the American flag, having red and white stripes, and then the blue thick line with the stars on it. 100,000%. Tell me why this bitch never had a red and white striped hat. You know how many fucking Halloween costumes there are with the red and white striped hat? Like a billion. Like, I've actually never seen a Halloween costume that didn't have the red and white striped hat. Why would they do that if it just didn't exist? There's like no way. And honestly, one of the craziest Mandela effects that I've heard in a while, because I know that man had the fucking red and white stripes. There's just no two ways about it. No way. The next Mandela effect actually blows my mind when I think about it, because I just don't understand where the hell this idea came from. Henry VIII, known for, I would say, having that fucking picture, like painting of him holding a turkey leg. That doesn't exist. Like, that's not a painting. That was not a famous painting. That never happened. None of that is real. Yet so many damn people remember that, and I just don't understand how that's freaking possible, because like, why are we all remembering something that was completely not there? Like, if you want to say Mandela effect, oh, it's just spelling things wrong, sure, I'll give it to you. But like, when we all collectively remember something that just wasn't existing, that's weird to me. It's how I feel about the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia logo. Why would we all just come up with a fucking cornucopia? Like, how did so many people remember that incorrectly? There's no way. And as for this Henry VIII painting with a turkey leg, it is such a random thought that, like, why would we have all made that up? Like, where would we have pulled that from? And even the, like, pictures of people, like, recreating it after figuring out that this is a Mandela effect and that the photo never existed, none of those pictures look right to me. Like, they don't look like how I think the picture should look and has looked to me. Like, I've never been able to find a photo of exactly what I'm thinking of, and it doesn't exist anywhere. Like, it wasn't, like, all that is fan art, basically. And it's still, like, incorrect, in my opinion. So thinking about that too hard, like, makes me lose my mind a little bit, because no. Alright, the next Mandela effect, actually the next two Mandela effects are a little Halloween-y, which I love. So Charles Schulz is the person who makes the Peanut movies. I love The Great Big Pumpkin. And recently, as I was watching it, I noticed, how would you spell Charles Schulz? Because I always thought it was spelled like this, but it's actually spelled like this. There's just no way that's correct. I'm sorry. No. Like, actually fucking no. I used to be really into Peanuts movies as a child. I think I would remember it. And especially, I had a crush on a boy named Mikey Schultz in... Not me name dropping first and last name. I feel like that's a basic name though. In like first grade. And I know I remember him having the same last name as Charles Schultz, and it was spelled with a fucking T. The next Mandela effect that is a Halloween themed one, I always remember the quote from Hocus Pocus being, "It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus." Like, that's the iconic line. That's not what they say. They just say, "It's just a bunch of hocus pocus."
Oh, come on. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
I swear it said, "It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus." 100,000%. And actually, like, this disturbs me. It disturbs me. Alright, the next Mandela effect I want to talk about is one that, like, personally is really fucked up to me, because my grandma loved Judge Judy. I think she actually might still watch it, I don't know. But she always had Judge Judy on when I was a child and I would be visiting her house. I know that bitch used a gavel. 100,000 fucking %. She used a gavel in, like, every single episode. Tell me why Judge Judy never used a gavel. Never. And if she did, it was like once. What the fuck do you mean? I swear I can picture her being like, "Order," like the whole thing. She never used a fucking gavel. And what's crazy about that is also the Amanda Show made a parody of Judge Judy called Judge Trudy, and Amanda Bynes always had a gavel. And I just don't understand why the hell she wouldn't have a gavel, because I mean, I feel like she needed to stop the court from speaking multiple times. A gavel probably would have came in handy, and I just can picture that bitch with one so bad, and she just never used it. So I actually don't even know what to think of that. The next Mandela effect I want to talk about is another thing of me remembering something that just isn't there anymore. We've talked about a lot of different Got Milk ads disappearing. For example, there's no Avril Lavigne Got Milk ad, which just, there's no way that's not true. Like, I know that there was an Avril Lavigne Got Milk ad. That drives me insane. And then also I remember there being an Ally and AJ one, and that doesn't exist anymore. For sure, something I remember in elementary school was a Selena Gomez Got Milk ad on the wall of my cafeteria. And I know that for a fact because I made Alex Russo my entire personality as a child, because who didn't? Selena Gomez has never done a Got Milk ad. That hurts me in a lot of ways. That's just wrong. It's wrong. Alright, the next Mandela effect is about Neil Armstrong, the first guy who landed on the moon. I would have said he died before I was born. I genuinely don't remember this happening whatsoever. This is like Shirley Temple. The fact that Shirley Temple died in 2014 is like actually clinically insane to me, because I never remember her being alive ever. So Neil Armstrong felt the same way. He died in 2012, and I just really disagree with that. I don't remember him being alive ever when I was alive. Like, is anyone else like, what the fuck? Because 2012 is insane. That was like yesterday. I was like in high school. I was aware of things going on, and I do not remember this whatsoever. Honestly, that just kind of reminded me of the Shirley Temple one, and it made me upset. Because the Shirley Temple one is so fucking crazy to me, because I used to love Shirley Temple as a kid, because I feel like everyone did, but my grandma would like make me watch her like movies and shit. How the fuck did she die in 2014? Like, 2014, I was completely like 16 years old. Like, don't you think we would have heard about it? Like, I don't remember hearing about that at all. So I just assumed she died before I was born. And same with Neil Armstrong. I don't remember hearing about it. I don't remember it being on the news, which is really weird, because I feel like I always very much remember celebrity deaths. Always. Like, I could tell you the exact year, like Alan Rickman, Robin Williams, Michael Jackson, like all of those people died. I remember it. It's like a very big memory in my mind. And I feel like Neil Armstrong, it would have been a big deal. Don't remember it. Alright, the next Mandela effect comes from The Shining. So I always remember, if like when I picture the Shining twins, I picture them in a long hallway on this like really ugly hexagon type of carpet. 100,000%. No. The carpet was always brown, and I don't like that. There is like one scene when the little kid's riding the tricycle where the carpet is the hexagon print that I remember, but I remember that print definitely being there when the twins were, because I know it. That actually drove me a little insane. And it's crazy because there's so much merchandise that involves the twins that also involves this specific patterned carpet. Like, I feel like it was a very iconic staple part of the movie, and the fact that it just doesn't exist anymore is nuts. But if you're a huge Shining fan, let me know what you remember. The next one I want to talk about is about Spinelli from Recess. When I saw this, I actually had to Google it because I was like, There's no way that's true. I remember her wearing a flannel jacket, like, or shirt tied around her waist. It just doesn't exist anymore. And she looks like something is missing. What the fuck is that? I do not like that. And I loved Recess as a kid. I really did. So the fact that that has been fucked up is just insane to me. All right, the next Mandela Effect is about the green M&Ms. And I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about this. But a lot of people are saying that they remember the green M&M, like the cartoon of her, having a pearl necklace. And part of me thinks that sounds correct. But then another part of me thinks that sounds hard to like draw on an M&M. Like, how are you gonna draw like a pearl necklace on her? I don't know. But I will say that I found some merchandise that has the pearl necklace on the green M&M, and that just looks so familiar to me. But she's never had a pearl necklace before. But let me know what you guys remember. The next one is about Kate Moss. I always remember Kate Moss having a gap in her teeth 100,000%, but she doesn't. And I thought that this was such a crazy Mandela effect because when I was Googling it, I was like, no, she does definitely have at least a little gap in her teeth. I found this article that was written about Kate Moss, and it was like showing a picture of her as a child. And it was a young Kate Moss, and she still has that signature gap in her tooth. And like the picture has no gap in her teeth. Like, why would the article be titled that? That is so fucking weird. And I just don't I remember her having a gap for sure. For sure. And I need to know what you guys remember. Next Mandela Effect really upset me because I thought this was an entire plot of Stranger Things. Karen Wheeler and Billy never even kiss. What the fuck do you mean? I remember when I first watched that season of Stranger Things where like Billy was in it and Karen was like freaking hot as hell. I was like, how the hell did I not notice how hot Mike and Nancy's mom is? Like, I just feel like she came out of nowhere and was just an instant baddie, and I was so confused. And I was here for it. But I definitely remember her and Billy kissing, for sure. But that never happened in the show. There is no kiss between them. Like, they definitely got close a couple times and had like a weird flirting situation, but they never even kissed. And I could swear that that's not true. Because I know I wanted to be Billy. Because I wanted to kiss Karen Wheeler. Damn, she's hot. I just know that this is a fact, and I cannot believe that that doesn't exist. Especially because I rewatched Stranger Things, like, relatively recently. And I remember it, but no, it doesn't exist. Alright, the next two Mandela Effects are kind of like, they might just be me. They're about pluralities of people. Does that even make sense? People's last names that are actually have an S at the end that I don't remember. Christopher Reeve's first one, Superman, I always thought it was Christopher Reeves. He's just Christopher Reeve. Second one is Donna Summers. I always thought it was plural. I thought it was Donna Summers, but it's just Donna Summer. I want to know if that's just me or if y'all remember it like I do, because that kind of fucks me up, I'm not gonna lie. The last Mandela Effect before we get into the emojis I want to talk about is about Snow White. So obviously we've talked about the Mandela Effect, that everyone remembers the phrase being mirror, mirror on the wall. But it's actually magic mirror on the wall. But the second part of that phrase has changed as well. So I always thought the phrase was mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? 100%. So the phrase is actually magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
No. There's simply no way that it has ever been that. Why is this movie misquoted so often? Like, that is such a weird thing, and it makes no sense to me, and I firmly disagree. Firmly. If I was Judge Judy, I would have the gavel right now, because no! Alright, the last Mandela Effects that we're going to be talking about are emojis that we remember being there and just simply aren't. For one, dragonfly? The dragonfly emoji! What do you mean that doesn't exist? I actually am so perplexed by that, because I know for a fact there was a fucking dragonfly emoji. I know. Nothing of the sort. Nothing similar. Just gone. The next one, the fork emoji. There's a fork and knife emoji. And then there's a separate spoon emoji. And there's a separate knife emoji. And there should be a separate fork emoji. But that does not exist. And I don't understand why. And I vividly remember that existing. So that's just driving me a little insane. Alright, the next emoji Mandela effect. I feel like you're going to have to stay with me on this. And I hope I can find like a good picture of what I'm seeing in my head. But a water well emoji. I remember there being one with like made of stone. Oh my god, I remember this so vividly, and the fact that it just doesn't exist is insane. Please tell me you guys remember that, because I just like feel like I made it up, even though I know I didn't, because I saw it on like TikTok or something, and I'm just so perplexed. The next one's a little spooky themed. I remember there being a cauldron emoji, 100,000%. A lot of people claim that they remember it having a green liquid like in it and being able to see like a little black cauldron with green liquid. I think I remember the potion inside being purple, if I had to guess. But green I would have been okay with that if that had existed, but there is no cauldron emoji whatsoever, and I am upset by this. They should make that. Why don't they have that? That's so fun. And it doesn't exist, so I guess I made it up. The next emoji is the dumbbell emoji. I 100,000% remember there being one. I just like feel like there should be. It makes sense for there to be one. It doesn't exist, and it never has. And the last Mandela effect that I'm going to talk about is the carousel emoji. So the carousel emoji, I remember like there is this little carousel like character emoji, but I remember there being like a full little circus carousel emoji that looked like this so vividly. I can see it so well in my head and how it looks on emoji form, 100,000%, but this simply just doesn't exist, and that drives me a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like that. I know that there's a carousel emoji. Like why can I see it so well? Why? Anyway, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if there are any other Mandela effects that you want me to talk about. I also really like reading you guys' personal Mandela effect. Like, I don't know, if you remember your friggin' lamp being different than it is now, like, I just like hearing about it. Like, I don't know, I know I can't, like, relate to it, but it's still fun to read, and I think you guys like reading them in the comments as well, so definitely let us know your Mandela effect stories as well. But either way, that is it for today's video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye!